Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. We were discussing class 6 science NCERT and today I'm going to discuss chapter 2 of that book. So please forgive me for my voice today because I'm having a sore throat. So let's start the chapter. The chapter name is Components of Food. We have already discussed in chapter 1 the food and its sources, and we know that food can come from either plant sources or animal sources, and apart from that we also need water, right? So this we have already discussed. We have also discussed that food items which are eaten in different parts of India, there is a variation in that food. That means there is a regional variation. Not only we are talking about India, even in the world, okay, there is regional variation. So now we want to talk about the components of food. For that matter, we need to first understand that we do not eat just one kind of the food item in our meals, okay? We may be eating one dal, okay? We may be taking one vegetable with chapati. So why is it that we are not taking only one item? Because our body needs all the components which are present in the food, and it happens that maybe roti, it is containing all the components, but maybe one component is dominant. For example, in roti, carbohydrates, they are dominant, so we say that roti is a carbohydrate rich food, okay? But we need all the components of the food in balanced quantities, so that is why we eat more than one item in our food, okay? So our body needs this distribution so that we can get all the food components in a balanced manner, right? So let's see what are generally the items which are eaten in different states. For example, here you can see in Punjab, what is the item of grain? That's the makki or corn roti. And what is the item of dal? That's kidney beans or rajma. What is the vegetable which is eaten here? That's sarson ka saag or mustard leaf curry. We discussed that mustard plant, its seeds, they give us the mustard oil, and its leaves that's used to make this mustard leaf curry. And others which in Punjab they use curd and ghee. So we can see that there is no one item, okay? We use different types of items. Now let's see that what are the different components of the food. And when we say the components of the food, we are referring to the nutrients which we get from this food, okay? So there are some components which are needed by our body, and these components, they are called as the nutrients. So let us see the classification of the nutrients. So the broad classification of nutrients is nutrients can be divided into carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins, minerals, and apart from that, we have some essential fatty acids and essential amino acids. We also need roughage and water. Sorry for that. Okay. We also need roughage and water. When we talk about the carbohydrates and the fats, okay, these are called as the energy giving foods because carbohydrates and fats, they give us energy. And in fact, fats जो है, they give us much more energy than the carbohydrates. Then if we talk about proteins, proteins are required for the growth and repair of our body, and that is why proteins are also known as the bodybuilding foods. Okay, so carbohydrates and fats, they are known as the energy giving foods. Proteins are known as the bodybuilding foods because they help in the growth and repair of the body. Apart from that, vitamins and minerals, these are known as the micronutrients. Why they are known as the micronutrients? Because they are required by our body in small amounts, okay? And they help in increasing the immunity of our body. That means it helps us in fighting the diseases, okay? So these are vitamins and minerals. And apart from these nutrients, we also need roughage, okay? Roughage is the undigested part of the food, okay? And apart from that, we need water, and water is used for the absorption of these vitamins and minerals, okay? So water is used for the absorption purposes. So we have broadly classified the nutrients into carbohydrates, fats, which are the energy giving foods, proteins, which are the bodybuilding foods, vitamin minerals, which help in the immunity, then essential fatty acids and amino acids there are. And apart from that, we have roughage, okay? It helps us clean the stomach, intestine, and also we need water, which is used for the absorption. So I hope this is clear. Now let's move forward. Okay, now we have the test for different kinds of the nutrients, okay? Because we know that all the foods, they contain all of these nutrients, but the point is that some of them they contain one nutrient in a dominant quantity than the other nutrients. And that's why when we say that, suppose it's a potato, we say that it is rich in starch, and starch, it is a form of carbohydrate, so we consider potato as the carbohydrate rich food. Okay, so one component, if it is dominant, that means it will be called by that name. For example, I just told you that potatoes, rice, they are carbohydrate rich foods. It doesn't mean that they do not contain proteins or fats, but it's just that the carbohydrates are more dominant in that. Okay, so let's see the first test, that is for the carbohydrates. Okay, so there are many types of carbohydrates, but the main carbohydrates which are found in our food, they are in the form of the starch and the sugars, and we can test the food products for the starch. Okay, so what is the test for the starch? So it's very easy. You have to take your food item and you have to put iodine drops on it. Okay, and you will see that its color changes to blue black. So if you are getting a blue black color, that means that starch is present in that food, and therefore it is a carbohydrate rich food. So you can see here they have taken a potato, and potato ke upar they have put some drops of iodine, and it instantly changes its color to blue black. So therefore it contains a starch, and therefore it is a carbohydrate rich food. Other examples of carbohydrate rich foods are roti, okay, sweet potato, bananas, potatoes, rice, kidney beans, or rajma. You have to learn these examples, like what are the carbohydrate rich foods, what are the protein rich foods. You have to remember the names of these foods. Now let's move forward. The next test is for the proteins. So I've done the test for the carbohydrates, that is starch, and now we are doing the test for the proteins. So for proteins, first of all, whatever item you are taking, whatever food item you are taking, just grind it and make a powder of it. And then after that, put some drops of water in it, so that you can get the food item in liquid form. Okay, and it will be easy then to test it. Okay, so that's why we are grinding and adding water in it. So what is the test for protein? It is again very simple. We are taking the food item in which we will add the copper sulfate solution, CuSO4, plus we are also adding the caustic soda, that is sodium hydroxide, जी यहाँ जिसको हम NaOH chemical formula से represent करते हैं. So in the food item we are adding CuSO4 plus NaOH, and what we will get is the resultant violet color. So whenever violet color it comes, that means the proteins are more dominant in that food item. Okay, so violet color, it indicates the presence of proteins. Okay, so this is a table in which, you know, that if we talk about raw potato, of course starch is present, milk may proteins are present, groundnut it has more of fat. Okay, rice again there will be starch. Okay, cooked rice may be starch hoga, dry coconut, these are fats basically. Then we have pulses, तो पल्सेस में प्रोटीन्स जो हैं वो ज़्यादा होंगे. अगेन दाल प्रोटीन्स ज़्यादा होंगे. वेजिटेबल्स में कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स जो हैं वो ज़्यादा होंगे. वैसे वेजिटेबल्स और फ्रूट्स में विटामिन्स मिनरल्स भी काफ़ी होते हैं, सो कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स भी होंगे. बॉइल्ड एग में वाइट पोर्शन अगेन प्रोटीन्स होंगे. Okay, so these are different types of food, and what is the dominant form of the nutrient present in it. Now let's move forward. The next test, it is for the fats. Again, very simple test. Just take a samosa, wrap it in a tissue paper, and when you press it and just leave it, and you will see that the tissue paper, it will have an oily patch. Okay, and it will be translucent patch. Okay, translucent patch. What do you mean by translucent? It means that you can see through the paper, but whatever you see, that is not clear. Okay, that is blurred image. So that is the translucent. So whenever a food item is oily, it gives us a translucent patch. So you should know the difference between the transparent, translucent, and opaque. Transparent is you can completely see the other side, okay, through that material. Translucent, I just told you that the thing from the other side, it is visible, but it is a blurred image. And opaque is when you are not able to see anything, that's opaque object. So if we are talking about fats, then it will be a translucent patch. Okay, so a translucent or oily patch shows that it has some fat in it. This I've already told you. Okay, carbohydrates, they mainly provide energy. Fats, they also gives us energy, but fats give much more energy as compared to the same amount of carbohydrates. Now if fats are giving more energy, it doesn't mean that we should eat only fat rich food. We need a balanced diet. Okay, we need proper components of food in a balanced proportion. So, energy giving foods, these are the carbohydrates and the fats because they give us energy, and fats give more energy. Proteins, I've already talked about, it is used for the growth and repair of our body, and therefore it is known as a bodybuilding food. Okay, so see here some sources of the carbohydrates. So you can see sweet potato, potatoes, sugarcane, papaya, melon, mango, maize, rice, bajra, wheat. So these are the sources of carbohydrates. Now, if we see some sources of fats may we have the plant sources and the animal sources. Plants say different types of oils, like we have the sunflower oil, mustard oil, coconut oil, soya bean oil, and apart from that, groundnuts we have, and all types of nuts, walnuts, almonds, etc. And we have this till. So these are the plant-based sources of fats. And if we see the animal sources of fats, then we have fish, meat, okay, eggs, ghee. Okay, so these are the examples of different types of the nutrient rich foods. Now, some sources of proteins. Again, proteins, plant sources and animal sources. So, if we talk about the plant sources, then we have this gram, black chana, moong dal, tur dal, that means pulses, beans, soya bean, peas. These are the plant-rich sources of the proteins. And the animal sources, they are meat, fish, paneer, eggs, and milk. So, you have to remember those. So, what are the bodybuilding foods? Protein rich foods. Okay, apart from that, we also talked about the vitamins and minerals. I told you earlier that vitamins, first of all, vitamins and minerals, they are known as the micronutrients. Why are they called as micronutrients? Because they are needed by our body in very small amounts. And if we talk about the human body, then the human body, it needs a total of 13 vitamins. So remember that human body, it needs a total of 13 vitamins. And vitamins, they help us in increasing our immunity. Okay, that means it helps us to fight against diseases, and plus it also help in keeping our eyes, bones, teeth and gums healthy. So let us see the broad classification of vitamins. So vitamins can be classified as fat soluble and water soluble. So by the name itself, you can tell fat soluble, that means the vitamins which will be dissolved easily in the fats, and water soluble is which will be easily dissolved in the water. What are the fat soluble vitamins? It is vitamin A, D, E and K. And what are the water soluble vitamins? It is the 8B vitamins, okay, and C vitamin. That means vitamin B complex and vitamin C, that comes under the water soluble vitamins. Now if we talk about the fat soluble vitamins, generally what happens is if a person is obese, then you will find that there will be a deficiency of these vitamins, because the vitamins, they will be dissolved in the fat cells of the body. Okay, and generally if the person is lean, then there may be increase in concentration of these vitamins, which is again not good for the body. And if we see the water soluble vitamins, they can easily dissolve in water, and therefore we can easily pass them through urine. That means it is not readily stored in our body. So let us see the functions of some vitamins. And if we talk about vitamin C and E, these are very good antioxidants. Okay, and we know that antioxidants, they help in keeping our skin healthy. Okay, so this was all which is written in this paragraph, different kinds of vitamins. Okay, A, C, D, E and K, which are the fat soluble, and vitamin B complex and C, which are the water soluble vitamins. Okay, and vitamin A, it keeps our skin and eyes healthy. So you have to remember this, it is very important. Vitamin A का काम क्या है? हमारे skin और eyes को healthy रखना. Vitamin C, it helps our body to fight against many diseases. Apart from that, vitamin C is also very good for our skin. Okay. Next is vitamin D. Vitamin D helps our body to use calcium for bones and teeth. So again, it is very important. It doesn't matter that if you have enough of calcium in your body. until and unless you have vitamin D, because only vitamin D can help our body to use the calcium. So even if calcium is present and your body is not using it, so again you will have weak bones and teeth. Okay, so for that matter we also need vitamin D, and vitamin D we get it from the sunlight. Okay, so it's very important that in a single day you should get out and take some sunlight for half an hour or so in the morning. Okay, now let's move forward. Minerals again, they are needed by our body in small amounts, that's why they are the micronutrients. Okay, what are the examples of minerals? Like we have iron, we have calcium, we have iodine. Okay, let us see these images also. What are the sources of vitamin E? Again, very important. What are the sources of vitamin E? We have vitamin A, sorry. We have mango, carrot, papaya, milk, fish oil. What are the sources of vitamin B? We have liver, wheat, and rice. What are the sources of vitamin C? We have lemon, oranges, guava, green chili, tomato, lemon, amla. So these are the sources of vitamin C. And vitamin D, we have livers, eggs, fish, milk, butter. Okay, and also vitamin D, we get it from the sunlight. Okay, here it is written, our body also prepares vitamin D in the presence of sunlight. So insufficient exposure to sunlight is causing vitamin D deficiency in many people. Minerals are needed for proper growth of our body. And of course, I've told you earlier that most of the food items, they have generally more than one nutrient. And however, in a given raw material, one particular nutrient may be dominant, that is present in much larger quantity than in others. That's why we call it as by that name. For example, rice is a carbohydrate rich source of food because it contains more carbohydrates than other nutrients. And okay, last we know roughage, that is the dietary fibers and water. So dietary fibers or roughage, it is basically to clean our stomach and intestine, and it is very important because it keeps our digestion proper. Okay, so from where can we get this roughage or dietary fibers? We can get it from the whole grains, pulses, potatoes, fresh fruits and vegetables. So if you know that cucumber, it's a very good source of dietary fiber. It helps in cleaning the intestine. And water, we know that water जो है, it helps in absorption of the nutrients. Okay, absorption of nutrients also passes in the form of urine and sweat. So again, water is very important. So let us see some of the minerals now. So if we see iodine, so what are the sources of iodine? We have salt, we have crab, fish, spinach, ginger. Okay, so these are the sources of iodine. What are the sources of phosphorus? Very important. Banana is a very important source of phosphorus. Milk, green chilies, okay, wheat, rice. So these are the phosphorus sources. What are the sources of iron? Spinach is a very good source of iron. We have liver, apples. Then what are the sources of calcium? All of you know, milk and eggs. So this also I've told you that water helps our body to absorb the nutrients and throwing out the wastes from the body as urine and sweat. What is balanced diet? So balanced diet is basically a diet which contains a good amount of all the nutrients. That means carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins, minerals, roughage and water. They are present in a balanced proportion. That is a balanced diet. And balanced diet is very important so that we do not get any deficiency diseases or we do not get the overdosage of the vitamins or minerals. Because say if we will eat more, okay, of the fat rich food or the carbohydrate rich food, then it may lead us to obesity. And if we will eat less of the proteins or minerals or vitamins, then it may lead to the deficiency diseases. So a balanced diet is very important, in which all the nutrients of the food, they are present in the good proportion. Now one important fact is that nutrients, they get lost in the process of cooking and preparations. For example, when we peel the vegetables after washing them, it may result in the loss of some vitamins. Okay, so the upper skin also contains some vitamins and minerals, and therefore we should try and we should peel only a very thin layer of the skin of the fruits and vegetables, because it may result in the loss of some vitamins. Okay, apart from that, if we repeatedly wash the food products, then it again may result in the loss of vitamins and minerals. If we see cooking, although it improves the taste of food and it makes it easier to digest, but it also results in the loss of certain nutrients. And especially if we talk about vitamin C, it gets easily destroyed by heat during cooking. So this is very important, that vitamin C gets easily destroyed by heat during cooking. Okay. So obesity, I just told you that if you're eating too much of fat rich foods or too much of carbohydrates, it may lead to obesity. Okay, that means you will be overweight. So what are the deficiency diseases? If one particular nutrient you are not getting from your food for a long period of time, then it may result from its deficiency. And these diseases which are caused by the deficiency of one particular nutrient, that are called as the deficiency diseases. So for example, if you are not taking enough of proteins, then because it is helps in the growth and maintenance, so it may result in stunted growth, swelling of face, discoloration of hair, skin diseases, and diarrhea. And if the diet is deficient in both carbohydrates and proteins for a long period, then growth may stop completely. And apart from that, person may become very lean and thin and very weak, so weak that he or she may not even be able to move. Okay, and deficiency of different vitamins and minerals, they may also result in some diseases or disorders. And all these deficiency diseases, they can easily be prevented if we take a balanced diet. Now let us see this table. It is very important. What are the different vitamins and minerals, and what is the deficiency disease which is related to it, and what are its symptoms? So let us see vitamin A. First of all, vitamin A, it is also known as the retinols and carotenoids. Okay, so remember the name of vitamin A, it is retinols and carotenoids. And the deficiency of vitamin A, it leads to loss of vision, because we just read that vitamin A, it is helpful in keeping our eyesight and our skin healthy. So it may lead to loss of vision, that means poor vision. It also can sometimes lead to complete loss of vision. Now the second vitamin is vitamin B1. So what is the name of vitamin B1? It is thiamine. So remember the name of vitamin B1, that is thiamine, that is thiamine. And the deficiency disease associated with it is beriberi. And what happens in beriberi is that we have weak muscles and very little energy to work. The next vitamin is vitamin C, which is also known as ascorbic acid. So you have to remember all these names. Vitamin A is known as the retinols and carotenoids. Vitamin B1, it is known as thiamine. Vitamin C is known as the ascorbic acid, and vitamin D, it is known as the calciferols. Okay, calciferols. And if we talk about vitamin K, it is known as the quinones. So remember these names. So vitamin C, the deficiency disease related is scurvy, and it leads to bleeding gums and wounds take longer time to heal. Vitamin D, because it's related to bones, so rickets or osteoporosis also happens. Okay, so bones become soft and bent. So osteoporosis में भी वही होता है that bones become soft and bent. Also remember some of the names of important other vitamins, B complex vitamins. For example, vitamin B7, it is known as biotin, and it is used for the hair growth. Okay, vitamin B7, it is very important for hair growth. Then we have vitamin B9, which is folic acid or folate, and you can easily guess that it helps in increasing the HB of our blood. Okay, so these are some of the important B vitamins, and remember their name. B7, it is known as biotin, and B9 is known as folic acid or folates. Now see some minerals. We have calcium, iodine, and iron. What are the deficiency diseases? Calcium, bone and tooth decay, that means weak bones and tooth decay. And iodine, it leads to goiter, and that we know that glands in the neck, they appear swollen, and it also leads to mental disability in children. And iron ki deficiency say we get anemia, that means HB, hemoglobin in our blood, that decreases, and it may lead to weakness. So this is very important, the distribution of the nutrients in our food, that is very important. The last concept that I wanted to talk about is biofortification or food fortification. To deal with these deficiency diseases, governments generally do biofortification of the foods. That means they add the extra vitamins and minerals in the food products Okay, and that is known as the biofortification or the food fortification, and many countries do that. Even if you see the Amul milk packet, you can see nowadays it is biofortified with vitamin C and K, I think. So you can check it that which vitamins are added in it. So this is known as biofortification. Let's see the summary of the chapter. What are the major nutrients? Carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals, essential fatty acids, essential amino acids. Apart from that, we have roughage, that is dietary fibers and water. And carbohydrates and fats, they are the energy giving foods. They provide energy. Proteins and minerals, they are needed for the growth and maintenance of our body. Vitamins, they help in increasing the immunity of body against the diseases. And balanced diet, it provides all the nutrients in the right quantities along with adequate amount of roughage and water. And if we have deficiency of one or more nutrients, it may cause to deficiency diseases. And we have seen the different names of different vitamins. Okay, let us just revise once again. Vitamin A, it is known as the retinol and carotenoids. Vitamin B1 is thiamine. Vitamin C is ascorbic acid. Vitamin D, also known as calciferols. K is known as quinones. B7 biotin, used for the hair growth. B9, that is folic acid or folate, increase in the HB of our blood. So this was it for today, guys. I hope you like the lecture, and if you do, then please do subscribe to our channel for further updates, and I'll post the next chapter tomorrow.